right, so this is going to be another movie review. This one's called Suburban Roulette, 1960. Giving it 3 out of 5 stars. This is not one of the better Herschell Gordon Lewis movies. I can't even read the movie poster. But of course, the movie poster looks more provocative than the actual movie. There's no nudity in this, just a bunch of lingerie and bikinis, stuff like that. The game where lust holds all the cards. Get an eyeful of what goes on behind the keyholes of suburbia. Not much going on there. Just husbands and wives cheating on each other out in the open. In suburban USA, 1968. Right around the time of the pill and the Kinsey Report. Suburban Roulette is no. Kinsey Report was 1950s. What am I talking about? The pill, I should say, not the Kinsey Report. Suburban Roulette is a 1968 U.S. drama film directed by Herschell Gordon Lewis and starring William Kerwin, the great big boozer and chain smoker, Alice and Louise Downe as characters who are involved in wife swapping to overcome the boredom of living in the suburbs. I'm glad I don't play their game. Of course, I'm not married, so I can't. It was produced as an independent film by Lewis, and it was shown in Chicago area movie theaters during the summer of 1968. It contains implied sex, boozing, adult themes, fighting, but is without nudity, which would have prohibited mainstream movie theater distribution. It was filmed in Wooddale, Illinois, a suburb of Chicago, during the summer of 1967. The Fisher family, which makes up of Bert and Eileen Fisher and their 13-year-old daughter, Cindy, move into the seemingly perfect suburban neighborhood to get away from the nearby city of Chicago. Private marital troubles between the Fishers include Bert's drinking problem and Eileen's propensity for other men. On their first day living in suburbia, they meet the neighbors, Ron and Margot Elston, who invite them to a pool party at the Elston house. Bert and Eileen have cocktails, partake in a cookout, and flirt with each other's mates, but not without guilt and repercussions. The Fishers fall into a dangerous game of wife swapping until the unwilling Bert can't take it anymore. Ignoring the presence of the other girls, including Ron's wife, Margot, Eileen succumbs to the advances of Ron and has sex with him in the bedroom, off camera, of course. In the weeks that follow, Eileen and Ron's secret affair heats up as the Fishers and Elstons join the third couple, Fran and Marty Conley, who appear to be the perfect conservative suburban family, complete with raising 4 kids, but they are in fact closeted swingers. The 3 couples partake in drunken parties at each of their houses, which eventually leads one evening to them playing a form of roulette in which the prize is someone else's marital partner for the night. Outraged by everyone's immorality, including his own, Bert demands to Eileen that they move out of the neighborhood, but Eileen refuses, for she has quiet confidence that Ron will divorce Margot and marry her to make a new life for themselves. But one evening, when Eileen confides in Ron about her choice to leave her husband, Ron makes it clear to Eileen that his interest in her is only physical and that he has no intention of breaking up his family. Depressed over this turn of events, Eileen attempts suicide by taking an overdose of sleeping pills, but is saved from death by Bert and her daughter Cindy, who find her in time and rush her to the hospital. In the final scenes, Eileen and Bert and their daughter move out of the neighborhood to another location to try to save their marriage, while the debauched Ron and Margot and Oh, I guess I don't want to spoil the ending here. I'm getting a little too far down the plot, if there is a plot. All right. Nobody in the chat room? Professor Quiz commented on my last video. He just said, agreed. I think we're on the same page, me and Professor Quiz. Suburban Roulette, 1968, rated R, an hour and 31 minutes. Gets a low 4.7 out of 10 on IMDb. 169 ratings, pretty obscure, but not super obscure. A newlywed couple falls into a dangerous game of parties with two other swinging couples after moving into a seemingly perfect suburban neighborhood. More like this, Something Weird, This Stuff Will Kill You, The Wizard of Gore, and Blast Off Girls. I think all of those are superior movies, except for maybe Blast Off Girls. Included in the 1990 VHS series hosted by Joe Bob Briggs, John Bloom, titled The Sleaziest Movies in the History of the World. The closing title card reads, "This story is fictitious. If you know of any resemblance to any living person, keep your mouth shut." Edited in Sleaze Mania Strikes Back, 1985. Suburban Roulette, written by Herschell Gordon Lewis as Sheldon Seymour, performed by the Faded Blue, uncredited. So the reason why I'm giving this 3 stars is because it has unintentional humor when Bert gets drunk. That scene in the kitchen with his wife when he's like slapping away the milk is great. It reminded me of Shanty Tramp. Why does this movie remind me of Shanty Tramp? Okay, because it's the same director, I think. Anyways, here's a negative review on IMDb, even lower than mine. I'm giving this a high 6 out of 10. The average is 4.7 on IMDb, and this person is giving it a 2 out of 10. So here we go. All right, this is by D.S. Graham, 212002, dated September 19th, 2014, giving it a 2 out of 10, a lower rating than the average and much lower than my rating. The title of the featured review on IMDb is, "You Call This Sleaze? ? Egad, what's all the hubbub about this snorefest? This movie may have passed for controversial or racy in 1967, but now it's just boring. It's somewhat interesting for the bad hair, not as bad as the 70s, however, but that's about all. The husband who is always pie-eyed in the highlight, folks, he probably used method acting, as he must have been actually drunk. It's that authentic. Lots of fully clothed groping, yawn. There are some really mouthy brats in it, reminding parents of today that this phenomenon is universally true in the past, present, and probable future. Some unexpected blood and guts would have been nice. After all, Suburban Roulette was directed by that early master of gore, Herschell Gordon Lewis. Maybe I watched an edited version. Where's the sleaze? Anyway, I feel gypped. Yeah, if you're a Herschell Gordon Lewis fan looking for nudity and gore, forget it. You're bound to get disappointed. I know I was somewhat disappointed by this, but then again, I don't have to confess it tomorrow that I watched nudity or blasphemy. Although Jaws 2 had a lot of blasphemy. I saw a nude picture and I got a little overly excited when I saw that street worker for the Nature Conservancy on Polk Street. She had me aroused. I went back to see her too. Oh man. I had a little. Friday was pretty crazy yesterday, but I made it through. I'm going to take a little nap, update my list. The next three on my list are Jaws 3 or Jaws 3D, 1983, Regular Fellers, 1941, and End of Days, 1999. That's coming down the pike next week. I'll update my list, and we'll see you next week. Laters.